South Africa's pesticide crisis calls for urgent ban on deadly chemicals after child fatalities. In a high-stakes session of Parliament's Portfolio Committee on Agriculture this Tuesday, intense discussions unfolded over the immediate banning of highly toxic pesticides, particularly Aldicarb and Terbufos. These chemicals have been directly linked to several fatalities among children and detrimental impacts on the health of agricultural workers across South Africa. The discussions were invigorated by a damning study conducted between 2010 and 2019, which revealed that these pesticides contributed to an alarming 50% of child fatalities due to suspected poisoning in the Western Cape. Particularly disturbing were the findings from a retrospective study highlighting 54 deaths directly attributable to these toxins in Cape Town's Western Metropole, amidst 5,181 unnatural pediatric deaths recorded over the same period. Thenjiswa Nshimalo, a representative from the South African Human Rights Commission, emphasized the historical and racial dimensions of this issue, highlighting the disproportionate impact on historically marginalized communities. The ongoing debate stresses the urgency of addressing not only the human toll, but also the environmental ramifications of these pesticides, which continue to be used widely across South African farms. Agriculture Minister John Steenhuisen acknowledged the widespread reliance on these organophosphate pesticides by local farmers, primarily due to their ability to boost crop yields significantly. However, the recent tragedies in October 2024, where 6 children from Naledi, Soweto, succumbed to Terbufos poisoning after consuming contaminated snacks, have brought the matter to a critical juncture. Steenhuisen outlined that transitioning away from these hazardous chemicals would require time and substantial efforts to educate and support farmers towards adopting safer, more sustainable agricultural practices. Issues were also raised about the lack of basic safety facilities for farm workers, which exacerbates their risk of contamination and, by extension, that of their families and communities. The Department of Agriculture expressed plans to reevaluate its approach to pest control, moving towards environmentally friendly alternatives. This shift comes as international entities in neighboring regions have already enacted bans on substances like Terbufos due to their severe health impacts and environmental risks. Meanwhile, advocacy for change is also gaining traction among various civic groups and coalitions, emphasizing the urgent need to revise national policies on the use of toxic pesticides. These groups argue for the prioritization of human and environmental health over the interests of the pesticide industry, which they claim has historically exerted considerable influence over regulatory frameworks. As South Africa faces critical decisions about its agricultural and environmental policies, the pressure continues to mount for a swift and comprehensive ban on these deadly pesticides to safeguard future generations and the country's ecological balance. Thank you for choosing Satori News.